I want you to just imagine you're in a room that's very dark and you can't see. You light a candle, and that candle illuminates a zone around you. You can now see your fingers, but still very dark, very lonely. Another person walks into that room with a candle and lights their candle off yours, and you both take one step apart, and the room is illuminated, but there's still those dark corners, those nooks and crannies where you're unable to see. A third person walks into that room and ignites their candle from yours. Each of the three of you take a further step apart and the whole room is illuminated. You can see every corner. This is the power of collaboration, the power of synergy, where 1 + 1 can equal 3. 1 + 1 can equal 3. Synergy is when you complement and amplify something so the sum of the two individuals is greater. I want to talk to you about the power of collaboration as professional speakers, and I think it's an unutilised skill, an unutilised tool in our toolbox. I speak to people in Australia, Singapore, and not a lot of people collaborate one-on-one. Now, by collaboration, I don't mean business partnerships. I don't mean forming companies. There's no contracts. There's no memorandums of understanding. I just want to work with Siva down the back. Let's just collaborate. Lots of advantages with collaborations. I want to share my business journey to show you that maybe this is something you could do to add to your business. We've seen marketing, we've seen social media. That hasn't worked for me. Perhaps it's an age thing. The powers of collaboration, the benefit. When you start out, we know there's quite a few people in the first 3 to 5 years, it can be quite lonely and isolating. When you collaborate with another person, all of a sudden you cross-fertilise, you share, you can mentor, reverse mentor each other, and it's not such a lonely journey. If I decide to collaborate with Siva once again down the back, and I've got 5,000 on my database, and he's got 5,000 on his database, and we collaborate and cross-promote, all of a sudden we've got 10,000. I work in my niche, which is public speaking, influence, and thinking and speaking off the cuff. So my client loves me and says, Peter, how about some time management skills or some goal setting skills? It's not what I do. So I can walk away and leave that money on the table, or I can collaborate with someone. And that person then, in their clients, finds someone who needs public speaking. So together, we can grow our business without doing anything fancy, with very little cost, just that collaboration. Now, collaboration requires trust, and within professional speaking, there is a code of ethics. So trust and ethics go hand in hand. So why is collaboration not used as much as I think it should be? Barriers to collaboration. I think it's fear. So the first thing is, if I collaborate with you, what if you come in and I share you with my client and you don't hit the mark that my client expects? You'll damage my reputation. And the client might say, well, Peter, that's not quite what we expected. In fact, we're looking for a whole new training provider. Or the reverse could happen. This could be my standard, which is really good, and you could come in and go really high, and the trainer says, wow. The employer says, wow, Peter, we don't need you anymore. This person you introduced us to is absolutely brilliant. So there's that fear. The other fear, you may steal my clients, you may poach my clients. And of course, my content is my own intellectual property. What if you steal my IP and set up in competition? So all these fears hold us back from collaborating. So my journey, 16 years ago, I started my professional speaking. I worked 30 years as a medical microbiologist, high income earning laboratory manager, and really doing quite well. And I decided to start my public speaking business. So I went from an income here to an income down here. The first 2 years was not even a livable income, but I decided to persevere. And over the next 3 to 4 years, I got up to almost my pre-professional speaking income. And then I just hit that ceiling, and I just stayed there and stayed there. Second 5 years of my business journey, I collaborated with someone. And what I found was some of the clients that I worked with, especially in the mining sector, needed people to do difficult conversations, feedback, emotional intelligence, which is not my expertise. So I've got 3 choices when they ask me to do that. Number 1, sorry, I can't help you, and I leave money on the table. Number 2, I can download a difficult conversations workbook and pretend that I can train in difficult conversations and leave my lane, leave my highway, leave my authentic self. And I don't want to do that. The third thing I can do is collaborate with someone who does that. And that's what I did. And within the next 5 years, I tripled my income. 1 plus 1 can equal 3. Third 5 years, I was doing a presentation skills workshop for a mining company. A young female engineer came and said, wow, I really liked that, Peter. And then my collaborator was doing difficult conversations a week later, and the same young female engineer was in that workshop and said, well, I love that. And she contacted us both and said, I would like to work with you to form a leadership program specifically for women in the mining sector. Women in the mining sector, leadership is tough because it's a male-dominated profession. And I think with good presentation skills and the difficult conversations, the feedback, and I'm going to do leadership traits and negotiation, we can put together a masterclass and we can charge a price that I would not be able to say because I struggle with that. So we went to the market and our income doubled again. Let me share with you my 2 collaborators. On my left, Kyla, a young female engineer, a go-getter, a millennial, and charging a price that I couldn't believe possible, didn't even bother her one little bit. The person on the other side, my first collaborator, the expert in difficult conversation, emotional intelligence, some of you will know her as my wife, Violet. So let me summarise what happened in my business. And I know some of you are starting out. So the first 5 years, I managed to get back to 1 times my income. And the first 2 years at any stage, I could have quit and went back to microbiology. The second 5 years, I tripled my income through collaborating with 1 person. I didn't work harder, I didn't do social media, I didn't all of a sudden become cleverer. I just did the same thing, but people wanted me more and we cross-sold each other. It's the power of collaboration. 1 plus 1 can equal 3. Here's a couple of observations around this. First of all, what I noticed was my wife can sell me to a client better than I can sell myself. Number 2, it took me 9 years to reach my CSP. It took my wife 4 years to become a CSP. I started professional speaking at age 51. My wife started professional speaking at 56. You're never too old to start professional speaking. If you want to become a CSP, Certified Speaking Professional, collaboration is one of those things that in my view, can fast track you to achieve CSP. And you have your mastermind groups and your mentoring. The collaboration helps you grow that income. And the last 5 years of my professional speaking, 6 times my original income. Any time in those first 5 years, I could have quit and went back to the microscope, to microbiology. We haven't done any marketing. You cannot find me on a Google search, or you can find Peter Jude, but if you search for public speaking, I don't come up. My SEO is rubbish. I'm too old to learn that stuff. The tool that I think many people don't use, and it's available for you, is that power of collaboration. What next? Interesting question. My eldest daughter specialises in mental health, resilience, emotional intelligence. I suspect that she will enter and we'll collaborate with her at some stage in the future. Maybe I can collaborate with someone in here and work in Malaysia. Anyone wants to work in Australia? Collaborate with me. There's my contact details. This is a very quick synopsis. This is not my topic. This is not a keynote. This is what I did to survive, to thrive and to grow and make my business unstoppable. Look at your table. Take your candle. Who could you light a fellow candle at your table? Look around the room. Who could you collaborate with and light their candle? In my view, collaboration is a tool that's underutilised in the professional speaking industry. And for me, it's a tool that can really elevate, fast track, improve your business. Who are you going to collaborate with? Thank you.